My family wants me to join them for Christmas after disowning me over 8 years ago. So, for context, I, 32F, was disowned by my family over 8 years ago. I was 24, fresh out of college, and had just started dating the woman who is now my wife. My family is very conservative and extremely religious, and when I came out to them, it was like I detonated a bomb in the middle of their perfect little church-going image. They didn't scream at me right away. My mom cried, like full-body, hyperventilating sobs, while saying I'd fallen under temptation. My dad got very quiet, which is always scarier than when he yells. My older brother told me I was selfish and spitting on everything they gave me. By the end of that week, I was told I wasn't welcome at home until I repented. That was it. No dramatic fight, no door slam. Just this cold, drawn-out exile. I remember sitting in my crappy one-bedroom apartment with my then-girlfriend, now wife, staring at my phone, waiting for them to call. They never did. Birthdays passed. Holidays passed. Weddings, funerals, even when my grandmother died, nobody told me. I had to find out through a distant cousin's Facebook post. For years, I tried to bury that wound. Therapy helped. My wife's family welcomed me with open arms, and every Christmas since then, I've been with them loud, chaotic, messy, loving. It's been healing. But last week, I got a message that cracked me open in ways I wasn't ready for. It was from my mom. A long, rambling text saying how much she misses her daughter and how time heals all wounds and how Christmas is about family, forgiveness, and second chances. She said everyone would love for me to come home for Christmas this year. 8 years. 8 years of silence, of pretending I didn't exist, and now, they want me to show up like nothing happened? I didn't respond right away. I showed my wife, who looked at me with that face she makes when she's trying to stay neutral, but is actually furious on my behalf. She said, "It's your choice, babe. But you don't owe them anything." And she's right. I don't. But the thing is, some part of me still aches for that connection. For my mom's hug. For my dad to look at me and not see disappointment. For my brother to treat me like his sister again. And now, I'm stuck wondering, do I go and risk reopening old wounds? Or do I stay away and prove, once again, that family isn't always blood? I stared at my mom's message for 3 days before I even typed a response. Every draft I wrote sounded either too angry or too forgiving. Part of me wanted to just text back, "Where the hell were you for the last 8 years?" Another part wanted to say nothing and let her sit with the silence she'd forced me to live with. But late one night, after my wife had gone to bed, I finally wrote back. "I don't know why you've reached out now after all this time. I need to understand what has changed, because I can't pretend the past didn't happen. You disowned me. That doesn't just go away." I hit send before I could chicken out. The next morning, there were 3 new texts from her waiting. 1, "We were wrong to push you away. We thought we were protecting you from sin, but all we did was hurt you." 2, "Your father doesn't like me reaching out, but I can't live with this distance anymore." 3, "Please come home for Christmas. Everyone will be there." That last part hit me. Everyone. Did that mean my brother too? The one who told me I was selfish, disgusting, and not his sister anymore? Did that mean my dad, the man who sat silently as my life was ripped out from under me? Did they all agree with this invitation, or was this just my mom trying to rewrite history without actually apologizing? I showed the texts to my wife. She read them, sighed, and asked me the hardest question. "Do you want to go, or do you feel like you have to go?" And the truth is, I didn't know. I missed them, but I didn't trust them. I wanted answers, not a sugar-coated family reunion where everyone pretends nothing happened. So I decided to call my brother. If I was going to even consider walking back into that house, I needed to hear where he stood. When he answered, his voice was the same as I remembered, sharp, irritated, like I'd interrupted something important. "What's up?" he asked. "It's me," I said. "Mom texted me about Christmas." There was a long silence. Then he laughed, but not in a happy way. "So she finally broke, huh? Figures." I asked him what that meant, and he said something I'll never forget. "Don't think for a second everyone's ready to just hold hands and sing carols. You'll be walking into a minefield if you show up." The way my brother said a minefield made my stomach knot. "What do you mean by that?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He sighed, like he was already exhausted by me. "Look, Mom's the one who wants this big reunion. Dad doesn't think it's a good idea. And me? I think it's a terrible idea. You're gonna come back and what? Pretend the last 8 years didn't happen? You really think Dad's gonna smile at your wife over Christmas dinner? You really think I'm gonna forget the things you shoved in our faces?" His words burned. "Shoved in your faces? You mean existing? You mean living my life without hiding it? That's what you still can't handle." There was a pause. Then, in that same bitter tone, he said, "You chose your path, we chose ours. Don't come crying now because you suddenly miss family." That was it. That was the knife twist I didn't know I was bracing for. I felt tears stinging my eyes, but I refused to let him hear me cry. I never stopped missing family, I snapped. You just stopped being mine. And I hung up before he could reply. I sat on the couch staring at the wall for what felt like hours. My wife eventually came in and sat beside me. I didn't even have to explain, she could tell by my face. He hasn't changed, has he? She asked quietly. No, I whispered. None of them have. But here's the problem, I still couldn't shake my mom's texts. The way she wrote, it felt different. Like maybe she was trying. Maybe. My brother was a lost cause, but my mom? Part of me still believed she might mean it. A few days later, Mom called. Hearing her voice for the first time in almost a decade nearly broke me. She sounded older, softer, like the years had worn her down. She said, I can't make your father or brother change their hearts, but I can tell you mine has. I don't expect you to forget the past. I just want to see you. Please, baby. Come home. And that's when she dropped the line that's been haunting me since. Your father won't admit it, but he asks about you more than you think. So now, I was torn in half. My brother had made it clear I wasn't welcome. My mom was begging me to come. My dad was a mystery. Christmas was 2 weeks away. And for the first time in 8 years, I was actually considering driving back to that house. Against my better judgment, and honestly against my wife's advice, I went. Not alone though. My wife insisted on coming with me, even if she stayed in the car the whole time. I'm not letting you walk into that house by yourself, she said, and I could have cried right then. The drive was surreal. Every turn was muscle memory, roads I hadn't driven in almost a decade, but still knew like the back of my hand. When we pulled into the neighborhood, my chest tightened. The house looked the same. Same white shutters, same front porch light, even the same plastic nativity scene in the yard. Like time had frozen. My mom opened the door before I even knocked. Her face crumpled, and suddenly I was wrapped in her arms. She was crying, and so was I. For a second, I felt like I was 16 again, home from school, safe. Then I heard it, my dad's voice in the hallway. He came into the entryway, slower than I remembered, grayer, but his eyes were the same, stern, unyielding. He didn't hug me. He didn't say much at all. Just nodded and muttered, you came. It wasn't warm, but it wasn't rejection either. Then my brother appeared. And that was when the room turned cold. He stopped in the doorway, folded his arms, and said, well, look who decided to crawl back. My mom snapped at him, something I never thought I'd see. Not today. Not on Christmas. Dinner was tense. My mom tried to fill the silence with small talk, asking about my job, our house, our pets. My dad mostly listened, grunting responses. My brother, on the other hand, couldn't help himself. Every other comment was a jab about how I abandoned the family, how I was parading my lifestyle. At one point, I finally said, you don't have to like me. You don't even have to respect me. But you will stop acting like I'm a stranger sitting at this table. I'm your sister whether you like it or not. The table went dead quiet. My mom looked like she wanted to crawl under the floor. My dad just stared at his plate. My brother's face turned red, but he didn't say another word. When it was over, I hugged my mom goodbye. She clung to me like she was afraid I'd vanish again. My dad shook my hand, stiff and awkward, but at least it was something. My brother? He walked away without a word. When I got back into the car, my wife reached over and squeezed my hand. So, she asked. I let out a long breath I didn't realize I'd been holding. It's not fixed, I said. It might never be fixed. But I needed to see it for myself. Now I know. And that was the truth. I didn't go to find forgiveness or some picture-perfect Christmas miracle. I went to see if there was anything left worth holding on to. For my brother, the answer was no. For my dad, maybe someday. But for my mom, yeah. For her, it was worth it. If this story kept you hooked, give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more.